It's story time with Uncle Jay, brought to you by Labatt Blue. This story is entitled, Could You Imagine the Luxury? Well, I'm trying to remember exactly how the story went because it was about a year and change ago when I told it, but my dad has traditionally been very cheap with the air conditioner, and all throughout my life it's always been a problem. Just turning it on. It costs money, it costs money, it costs money. But I like to be comfortable myself. You can hear in the background the ream running back there. They're actually both on. It's pretty hot out, and of course I'm sitting outside. I was talking to my mother about this, and I said, was Grandpa, my father's father, cheap with the AC? Because I don't remember him really being. I said, what happened when he was a kid? Because when I was a kid, if we were lucky enough to get my dad to approve of the AC going on, we had one in the upstairs of the house, and my sister and I would have to go in there with sleeping bags. That way 2 people could enjoy the AC. And I said, what did Dad do when he was a kid? Because he had 3 siblings. There were 4 kids. He said, oh, Grandpa, you want it on, be comfortable, go right ahead, turn it on. I said, that's interesting because he, didn't make that great of a salary, especially back in the day, and that. The one caveat was, if people are going to sleep, then you can only have the one on, so everybody would have to sleep in the same room with sleeping bags. So, okay, at least he got that much, but he allowed people to turn it on. And I also remember when I was a kid, and we used to go over to my grandfather's for holidays, maybe a barbecue in the summer he would have occasionally, stuff like that. In April we used to go there for a holiday, and invariably with 20 some odd people in there, even if you shut the heat off, it got pretty warm in the house with all the cooking and everything else, and everybody sitting, eating, all the lights on, etc. It got pretty hot in the house. So invariably, my grandfather would walk over and he'd kick on the unit, which was a through-the-wall unit. It was a Chrysler Air Temp. I don't know anything else about it except that the knob that controls cooling and high cool, low cool, etc., and fan and all that was like a triangle shaped kind of thing, almost like a diamond sort of triangle looking thing. That's all I know about it. So Grandpa used to turn it on, and I'm just totally baffled about why my dad wouldn't put it on, but that's just how he is. So as the holiday would go on, we'd have the holiday meal and that. And then after that, he'd invariably clean up all the dishes and that, and they'd be in the kitchen, and they're washing dishes. Now you could smell the coffee. We had an old school percolator going, so that's making the coffee, so the smell of the coffee, dessert's going to be coming out soon, and the dishwasher would be running and stuff like that. And now, we're waiting for the dishwasher to finish, so we had plate. I don't know if he didn't have enough plates or whatever the deal was, so finally Grandpa had a few free minutes, so he would step out front, and he had this porch that you could fit comfortably 5 people on that porch. You could squeeze 10 on there if you had to, if they stood. And the Chrysler Air Temp unit was right back there, so I remember hanging out behind it there when I was a little kid. And Grandpa used to like to smoke a cigar. And I'd go out there, because Grandpa was out there, and it was nighttime, it was dark out already because it was evening, and the AC still running, and he'd be out there smoking a cigar, so I'd run out, hi Grandpa, what's going on? We'd talk for a little bit, whatever. And he had, like most houses, he had obviously the front door, and he also had like a storm door, or screen door as I call it. And the screen door was solid at the bottom part, but the top part had a screen in it with like a window that had those louvered glass things that come out like that, and there's like a whole stack of them, yay big. So invariably I'd be out there, I'd be talking to Grandpa, and the AC's running, and the front door is wide open, but the storm door, screen door is shut, and those louvers were open. And I said, this man has the AC on, and the window in the door is wide open. And I said, wow, could you imagine the luxury of having the windows open and the AC on? Well, guess what? Could you imagine the luxury of having the window open and the AC on? Matter how you like to live, and if you want to be comfortable or not, and if you can afford it. I obviously just opened that for the video. I wouldn't normally have it open, just because you want to try to preserve what you can, but the unit is running practically all day because it's a real hot one. It's getting close to 90, so anyway, I thought that was just an interesting story that some of you wanted to hear. A couple people had commented on that. There goes the 2-ton. And that's pretty much it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the story, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.